Hello, my name is Christian, and here's my audience. Got my girls and my mom over here. Let's see, make sure we get everybody in there. And there's a shot of everybody right there. All right. Ah, what a beautiful scene that was, wasn't it? It's too bad most of us won't get to experience winter like that. Most of us live in large cities with lots of cars and tons of people who have no clue how to drive in the snow. Most of us are going to experience winter like this.
Oh shit, he's done. Oh damn. I got it on video. That's terrible. This is bad. This is really bad. Look, you hear the car? Oh yeah. Oh shit, there goes another one. Don't get in the street. Not get in the street. No! This guy's hitting every car coming down. Oh shit. Watch out, watch out! Oh Jesus. Oh shit, here comes another one. Oh shit. Jesus. Oh my God.
Now, can somebody out there tell me what possesses people to do something like this? Wouldn't common sense dictate that if the 5 cars in front of you come sliding down the hill backwards, maybe that's probably not the best way to go? Well, most Colorado natives should have this sort of common sense, but unfortunately, overconfidence can lead to disaster, just like the fool in the gray truck who came sliding down the hill backwards, hitting everybody on his way. Now, not everybody has been in an accident in icy roads, but most of us can say that we know somebody who has. I've lived in Colorado my entire life. I know how to drive in the snow. I know how to correct my slides if I get into one. Most of this is because in my late teens and early 20s, I decided to go play in snowstorms in empty parking lots and such. But I also took a driving course called Master Drive that taught me how to correct slides and also other defensive driving techniques. I believe that if everybody in Colorado were required to take a class like this before they obtained a Colorado driver's license, that it would save a lot of lives in Colorado. My information comes from the Denver Post, the Colorado State Patrol, the Colorado Department of Motor Vehicles, the Colorado Mountain Passes Index, and the videos that you see came from YouTube, and none of them were shot by me. So let me start off by telling you a little bit about the different road conditions in Colorado. Now, temperatures vary a lot in Colorado. It could fluctuate 30 to 40 degrees between night and day, especially in the fall and in the spring. Now, if it rains during the day and the temperature drops 40 degrees, that rain's going to turn to ice on the roadways, and it's going to be dangerous to go drive out on the roadways, and you need to be wary of all of those conditions. Also, Colorado has a lot of elevation changes. Colorado boasts 53 mountain peaks that are over 14,000 feet tall, and they have 74 improved and paved mountain passes. The tallest of which is the Trailhead Ridge Pass that's on Route 34, and its elevation is 12,183 feet above sea level. Now, you go into this pass thousands of feet below, so your conditions are going to change once you get to the top. It could be dry at the bottom, and there could be feet of snow up at the top of these passes. So drivers need to be wary about the conditions, and they need to know how to drive in these conditions, especially in Colorado. Let me show you a little video on some people who didn't know how to drive in the snow and were a little overconfident in what they did. Wow, I definitely wouldn't want to be one of those people. That's pretty nuts. I mean, I hope nobody got hurt in any of those crashes. And that happens all the time in Colorado because people don't know how to drive in the snow. Like I was saying, Colorado doesn't require winter weather driver training to obtain a Colorado driver's license. There are only 25 multiple choice questions on the Colorado's written driver test, and none of those questions has anything to do with winter weather driving. It doesn't make a lot of sense, especially in Colorado where there's snow on the ground for at least 4 months out of the year. Now, again, a physical driver's test, they don't test you on whether or not you can get yourself out of a skid or whether or not you know how to drive in the snow. They don't even have the facilities to do this. But I believe that if they had these facilities and it was required of every driver, it could save lots of lives and save people lots of accidents in Colorado. Now, the Colorado State Patrol says that there are thousands and thousands of accidents reported every year just because of winter weather conditions. In 2011, there were 5,300 plus accidents reported in Colorado because of icy conditions. And in the 2009-2010 season, there were 16 fatalities. Now, if these drivers knew how to drive in the snow, not saying that they all didn't, but I bet some of them had no clue, maybe they'd still be here today, or maybe they wouldn't have gone into the ditch. Now, there's programs out there who can teach you how to drive. Like I said, I took a master drive when I was 19 years old, and it taught me a lot. They have a skid pad that kind of simulates hydroplaning, and they teach you how to get out of that skid. There's also a lot more to the class that you'll have to see if you take the class. It's about 2/3 driving in the actual car and 1/3 classroom time. And again, it was worth every penny to me to see this class and to be in this class. Master Drive costs $149 and is 3 days long. And I believe if the state of Colorado would cooperate with Master Drive and teach people how to drive in the snow, that they could reduce the number of accidents on the Colorado roadways a lot. And here's a little bit right here about Master Drive.
With some skid recovery training, you can learn to handle these situations and feel much safer on slick roads. You'll learn what to do and what not to do. The Master Drive experience does actual training to teach drivers how to handle slick conditions. You don't learn to do this by watching a video or listening to a lecture. You learn to control by doing.
So with all the videos that you've seen, the crashes that you've seen, don't you think you might want to learn how to drive in the snow if you don't know how to do so? I know that there's a lot of people that migrate to Colorado from California or Texas, and yeah, there's mountains in California, but it's not everywhere. And Texas, there's no snow in Texas. So people, you need to learn how to drive in the snow before you get onto the roadways and hurt somebody or hurt yourself. When you get out onto the roadways, you need to be wary of all the conditions that are around you. You need to know what's coming up. You need to check the weather reports, and you need to learn how to drive, and you need to learn how to drive in the snow. You need to make sure that you don't do any sudden braking. You need to make sure that you don't jerk your wheel or do any sudden lane changes because you have no traction on ice. If you try and walk on ice, it's slippery. There's no difference between you walking and driving a car. It's slippery. Number 2, you need to make sure that you're not distracted by anything. That means talking on your phone, eating and driving, or playing with the radio. It's not worth catching the next tune that you like to either hit somebody or go into a ditch. Now, I think the most important thing that people don't remember is you need to slow down. Go 5 miles an hour under the speed limit. It's okay. Leave a little early so that you can still get to your destination on time. Let the person go around you. They can be mad at you. But, you know, you're going to live and they might go around you and end up in the ditch like some of the cars that we've seen. So please, people, slow down and join me to demand the state of Colorado require people get winter weather driver training before they obtain a Colorado driver's license. I promise you this would save lots of lives and lots of money. Thank you.
She'd been drinking too much eggnog, and we begged her not to go. But she forgot her medication, and she staggered out the door into the snow.